www.seancardovilis.co.ke.
So this man will defend his Olympic titles from London 2012 in Rio de Janeiro.
Bolt in 5, Gatlin in 7. The battle for the soul of the sport. What sort of start is it for Usain Bolt? Not as good as Mike Rogers, not as good as Justin Gatlin either, but Bolt is into his running better than he has been in recent races. It is Gatlin and it is Bolt, and I think it's Bolt. Bolt gets Gatlin. Gatlin stumbled. 9.79. Bolt got to Gatlin. Somebody's got to Gatlin. How did he do that?
Usain Bolt will defend both his Olympic 100 and 200 meter titles and the 4x100 meter relay title after being named in the Jamaica team for Rio 2016. There had been worries over his participation after he injured a hamstring at the national trials, but the six-time Olympic champion is part of a 63-man Jamaica team. Meanwhile, world number 3 Jordan Spieth will not take part in this summer's Olympic Games, according to the International Golf Federation. And Spieth is pulled out because of fears concerning the Zika virus in Brazil. Here's BBC Sport with more details.
Spieth has cited concerns over the Zika virus. He called the International Golf Federation moments before a news conference here at Troon to announce the fields for the men's and women's competitions. The men's competition gets underway in 31 days from now in Rio. Dawson expressed disappointment at Spieth's withdrawal. He admits that it doesn't help golf's cause when the IOC considers all events for Olympics beyond the 2020 Tokyo Games next year.
Well, I think it's down to us now to put up a good show in Rio, have compelling competitions with good crowds, with good TV audiences, and put our best foot forward. It's important that golf stays in the Olympics. Golf's a big sport. Olympics is the biggest stage, and we're going to do everything we can to keep golf there.
Are those efforts hampered, though, by these withdrawals?
Well, they're not helped. There's no point hiding that, but I think we can overcome this. We've had many hurdles along the road to Olympic golf, but we're ready to go now. It's only 31 days to the golf competition, and given 112 years since we last played, that's quite a short time.
And one other note, a 5-time Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova will miss the Rio Olympics after her doping appeal verdict was postponed until September by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And she was given a 2-year suspension in June after testing positive for the banned substance meldonium. Thousands of fans have lined the streets of the Portuguese capital Lisbon to greet their returning football heroes who beat France 1-0 in the final of Euro 2016. Here's BBC Sport.
After the players arrived back from Paris on a plane named after Eusebio, a hero of the 1960s, now themselves today's heroes for the country. People were outside in their hundreds and then in their thousands along the streets around Lisbon, first as they made their way on an open-top bus to the presidential palace where they were received by the president, and then very slowly again through the centre of the city to a massive fan park. Highly emotional scenes on the part of both fans and players, singing together, making speeches. Ronaldo clearly very emotional.
And in cycling, following a rest day, the Tour de France continues today. Here's BBC Sport with a preview.
Stage 10, it's a stage that leaves Andorra on Tuesday and heads back to France to Revel. It's a stage that starts with a very long climb, naturally out of a mountainous country such as Andorra. Then descending into France, a little bit of a kick 7 kilometres from the end. What sort of thing can we expect?
I think it could very well be a breakaway, bearing in mind that we've got this first category climb that goes straight out of the blocks, and it's the first 24 kilometres are all uphill. Off the back of a rest day, a lot of riders will not like that. Their legs, they sometimes take a little while to come round. There is no opportunity for this. On paper, it looks like it could very well be a sprint day, a day for Cavendish, Kittel, Brian Coquard, the Frenchman. But we will just have to wait and see exactly what happens in terms of a potential early break and how long that stays out in the lead.
Another very tough week to come at the Tour de France. Ventoux, time trials and everything as we head to Switzerland. The tour continues with Chris Froome in the yellow jersey.
Alright, so just a confirmation that the Tour de France is the main event on today with Chris Froome defending his yellow jersey.
Sean Cardovilis, the voice of sport.